Ethel.
It's all right. I locked the office door.
It's no use. I can't.
Oh, but it's not fair.
Don't, Ethel.
Try, Peter. Oh, try.
Oh, God.
Tell her to leave you alone. Tell her.
Ethel.
Her, Miss Elmore. Fat, painted and vile. Touching you. Taking your clothes off. You let her do it all the time. You let her.
Her? She was the man's wife. Stage name Belle Elmore. Him? A purveyor of patent medicines with an American medical training. He had met and been smitten by the vivacious young singer Belle when she still nursed hopes of a career as an opera singer. They were American citizens who had married, moved to England, and settled in a large, gloomy house in London's Camden Town, where he found himself chained not to an opera star, but to a third-rate music hall artist with a foul temper and an enormous sexual appetite. He was lonely, fastidious, impenetrable. A little man called Hawley Harvey Crippen.
Help Belle clear away the dinner things, like I always did.
And this was the night of January the 31st.
Whist in the parlour. That's how the four of us enjoyed our evenings. Just me and my husband and Belle and Peter. American cocktails.
Peter, you know Dr. Crippen as Peter?
Well, isn't it cosier than what? Hawley Harvey.
Yes, just go on, Mrs. Martinetti.
Yes, well, like I say. I kissed her goodnight at 1:30 in the morning. Standing there at the top of the steps, waving us off. A full bloom. Don't come down, Belle, I called you. Catch your death of... cold.
Catch her death of cold? Belle Elmore was never to be seen again. It was 1910, the year the little doctor from America thrilled and chilled the world. The first man ever caught with the help of a new device called radio. Caught and ignominiously shipped back to London with his mistress, Ethel and Neve. He to stand trial at the new #1 court at the Old Bailey for the murder of his wife. She to await a separate trial as his accomplice.
Seemed to you to be in quite good health.
Bubbling.
Was Mrs. Crippen in good spirits that evening?
Oh, jolly as a pantomime. Kissed her. Good night, Belle. Good night. Gone to America. You're a fine one, Peter, I told him, springing that on us.
Springing that...
Was it Bella gone off on the sudden? Home to America? Someone in the family taken ill? Why on earth didn't you send us a telegram before she went, I asked him. I could have gone to the station with some flowers, seen her off properly.
So Dr. Crippen had told you that his wife had left the country just like that?
Oh, Belle's sure to send me a postcard, I thought. Sure to. Never did. Oh, she's right up in the wilds of California. That was his story.
Yes, go on, Mrs. Martinetti.
Well, I asked him if he was going to the ball.
This being?
Well, for the Music Hall Ladies Benevolent Fund. I mean, they never missed Belle and Peter, not in 10 years. Well, she was our treasurer, of course. Well, he bought his 2 tickets, all right. Only this time he brought along that Ethel, his typist. Ethel Neve, wearing a diamond brooch.
Exhibit 11, please. Is that the brooch?
Yes, this is it, all right. I don't want to appear malicious, but I know for a fact...
You know what?
Mrs. Crippen used to wear it.
What happened after the ball, Mrs. Martinetti?
Well, Peter told us he'd received a letter from Belle's relations over there. Belle had been taken ill herself. Very ill. Something in the lungs. And then a few weeks later, Lord help us if I didn't get the telegram from him saying that Belle had passed away. Gone. Gone. I said something about the funeral. He said she wasn't going to be buried, cremated. And the ashes were being sent over.
Now, Mrs. Martinetti, what sort of clothes did Mrs. Crippen wear? Mrs. Martinetti, did Mrs. Crippen wear gay, fashionable clothes, the sort you would expect a stage performer to wear?
Oh, my, yes. I've seen her in at least 2 sets of furs, muff, cape.
Exhibits 17 and 18, please. Now, after Mrs. Crippen disappeared, Did you see anyone else wearing a set of furs like that?
Ethel and Neve.
My lord, it is not disputed that Miss Neve, on occasion, wore the jewellery and furs that once belonged to Mrs. Crippen.
I'm obliged to you, Mr. Tobin.
Gowns and feathers.
Darling.
And me, what have I got?
Mrs. Martinetti, you were a very close friend.
She
of
knows
Mrs.
about
Crippen's.
us.
I want to ask you some
Cuts me
questions
dead when she comes
about
barging
her
into the
appearance.
office.
Distinguishing marks.
The way she stops and looks at you. Cold, Peter. Like she's hunting you.
Anything wrong, Neve?
Anything wrong? No. No, not a care in the world.
Try and sleep for your own sake.
Crying and poking just like everybody else. Why can't you leave us alone quiet?
Let's have you.
Now, you say, Inspector Dew, that some of Mrs. Crippen's friends became concerned about her disappearance.
And at the stories the prisoner told about her death. It came to my attention early in July, sir, and I called at the prisoner's home, 39 Hilldrop Crescent.
Go on, Inspector.
I was received by Miss Neve, sir, and she accompanied me to the prisoner's place of employment, Albion House in New Oxford Street, where he had a room and at that time carried on as a tooth specialist. I informed him that I was not satisfied about his wife's death. He replied, "I suppose I had better tell the truth." He said he was willing to make a statement.
Kitten?
Hiding in the office. Creeping into hotel bedrooms. She's turning us into animals.
Like herself. She has no
Her
shame.
manner towards me was
A Roman Catholic, but never a drop of shame.
Would you not want
In the States, she had an operation to remove her ovaries.
who would make a fuss
There was nothing to hold her back
Some of
then.
them used to visit her,
Peter,
calling when I was away.
I can't stand it anymore.
Oh, my God.
Belle frequently got into the most violent tempers, threatening to leave me, saying she had a man to go to. I saw letters from one admirer of hers which ended with love and kisses to brown eyes. After the Martinettis left that night, we quarreled. She said, "This is the finish. I am leaving you tomorrow. You will never hear of me again." She told me to cover up any scandal with our friends in the Music Hall Guild. I told several people she had gone away, but I soon realized this would not be a sufficient explanation for her not coming back. Later on, I said she was ill and afterwards dead. So far as I know, she is still alive. What did you do after Dr. Crippen had made his statement?
I accompanied both Miss Neve and him to 39 Hilldrop Crescent. He showed me into every room, including the cellar. But considering his statement over the next 2 days, I decided to call on him again. I could find neither the prisoner nor Miss Neve.
Go on, Inspector.
I returned with other officers and made a thorough search, even digging up portions of the garden. Nothing, sir. Not until I returned to the house for the third time. The coal cellar. It's always worth it. It's in the psychology, deep enough never to see the light again.
Inspector.
I probed the centre of the brick floor with a poker. It's always the centre. Loose bricks. I dug into the clay underneath, 4 spadefuls. And there, buried in quicklime, what appeared to be human remains.
The birds had flown. The names of Dr. Crippen and Ethel and Neve were blazed across every newspaper in the country and outside. They'd slipped away on the continental ferry to Antwerp, there to pick up a transatlantic steamer bound for Canada and a new life. The little doctor had shaved off his moustache, left off his glasses. Ethel was dressed as a boy, her hair cut short. They were booked in the name of Robinson and Son. They were still Peter and Ethel. As the captain reported afterwards, the boy squeezed his father's hand immoderately. He never left his side, and his table manners, most ladylike. The captain used the steamer's newly installed wireless telegraphy to send his suspicions crackling back to London. Inspector Dew boarded a faster boat and caught up with the steamer just before it docked in Canada.
And on that first visit, Had the prisoner shown the slightest reluctance in going back to Hilldrop Crescent with you?
None at all, sir.
Did he attempt to conceal anything?
No, sir.
Nothing?
He showed me every room in the house.
Including the cellar?
Yes, sir.
We'll find our island.
Certainly,
Our
sir.
little house across the sea, filled with sunlight.
Did he show any worry or anxiety about going into the cellar with you?
He was perfectly cool, sir.
Forever radiant.
Dr. Pepper, please.
It's me, Spilsbury. The remains. I'd say they had been buried in the cellar up to 8 months.
Could they have been buried there for, shall we say, 5 years?
No, not possible, I'd say.
Tell us what you found in this grave, Dr. Pepper.
Portions of a woman's cotton combinations, a metal hair curler with several hairs, up to 8 inches long and partly bleached, fragments of a pajama jacket.
Exhibit 79. Is that a portion of the pajama jacket?
It is.
And the collar is still fixed?
Yes, and labelled Jones Brothers, shirt makers of Holloway.
Tell us what the bodily remains consisted of, Dr. Pepper.
Well, the head, arms and legs were missing. No bones at all. All the internal organs of the chest and abdomen remained in one piece. The heart, lungs, gullet, liver, spleen, stomach. All except those of generation. No trace of genitals. No certain indication of sex at all.
Go on, Dr. Pepper.
There was a piece of abdominal skin and a mark on it which I spent many hours examining.
And your conclusion?
It was a scar, an old one. A scar such as would be left after an operation to remove the pelvic organs, the ovaries or the uterus.
You are certain this mark was a scar?
I have been a fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons for 35 years. I have seen such a scar many, many times.
That is the piece of skin, Dr. Spilsbury?
Bearing the scar, yes.
Now, you used to be a student of Dr. Pepper's at St. Mary's Hospital.
Yes.
And Dr. Pepper asked you to make a microscopic examination of a section taken from that piece of skin.
Yes. I found on closer examination...
Before you found anything, had you not heard or read in the press that Mrs. Crippen had had an operation?
Yes, I believe I had.
The mark on the skin was vital. If the defense could throw doubt on it being a scar, might the remains not be those of Belle Elmore at all?
But didn't the condition of the skin make it very difficult to form a clear opinion as to what the mark was?
More difficult than if it had been fresh.
Exceedingly difficult. I put it to you, Doctor, that this so-called scar was nothing but a fold in the skin.
Part of it, possibly. But the beginning and end of a scar are quite obvious.
Quite obvious? Are there any marks on that piece of skin that you can identify as stitches?
No.
No.
Where a scar has become broad, like this one, the stitch marks often merge into the margin of the scar or disappear altogether.
You are quite certain that this abdominal mark is a scar?
The mark would not be a scar were a sebaceous gland or hair follicle to be found in it. There is no such hair or gland. If there were, I would have found it. You can fool men, but not microscopes.
We dissect the heart expertly in the laboratory. But how much do we understand it?
Crippen made mistakes.
We never do, of course.
I have no doubt.
You'll go past, Spilsbury, like all men without doubt.
What has Dr. Peter told you?
Peter, you can hear us. Look, her eyes, they're half open.
I'll show you her pupils. There, wide and blind. See? She isn't with us.
It's not. That stuff, it's not really harmful, is it?
A Home Office analyst found a powerful sedative called hyoscine in several of the organs dug up from Crippen's cellar, a drug that Crippen had purchased.
She'll wake up tomorrow and know nothing about it. Or us. Trick of the trade, kitten. Tiny doses in our coffee and brandy. They work wonders.
Peter, I'm afraid. I can't stay here all night.
You goose.
Peter, if only. Oh, if only.
Hawley Harvey Crippen.
Peter, be careful.
Your visitor's here, Neve.
Be careful, Peter.
Are you familiar with the drug hyacinth?
I have been for years. It was being used by the Royal Bethlehem Hospital for the Insane when I first came to England 25 years ago.
Have you yourself used it?
As a nerve tonic?
Did you at any time administer hyacinth to your wife?
Never.
Now, the remains found at your house in Hilldrop Crescent. Have you any idea whose they were?
I knew nothing about them until I came back to England.
With Inspector Dew?
Right.
Did your wife know of your relations with Miss Neve?
I don't think so. When she called at the office, she would treat Ethel with the greatest courtesy.
Thank you, Doctor.
The Martinettis came to dinner on January the 31st. On the early morning of February the 1st, you were left alone in the house with your wife.
Yes?
She was alive.
Yes.
And well?
She was.
Do you know of any person in the world who has seen her alive since?
I do not.
Do you know of any person in the world who has had a letter from her since?
I do not.
Do you know of any person in the world who can prove that she left that house alive?
No, I do not.
Where did you suppose your wife had gone?
To America?
Did you make any inquiries?
No.
As to what steamers were leaving for America at that time?
No, I did not.
Is there a cab stand in your house?
Around the corner.
Did you go to the cab stand to inquire?
I made no inquiries whatever.
Please listen to the question. Did you go to the cab stand to inquire whether any cabman had come to take away a box for your wife?
No, I did not.
Have inquiries been made of your neighbors to find out whether a cab or a box was seen leaving the house?
I have made none.
You don't suggest that your wife on a voyage to America would walk away from the house?
I don't know what she would do. She was a very impulsive woman.
Was?
Had any boxes or clothes been taken from the house?
I didn't miss any.
Her jewellery was left behind?
Except for a few rings, yes.
Her furs and dresses?
Yes.
Go on, Mr. Muir.
It would be most important for your defense on a charge of murder if any person could be found who saw your wife alive after the Martinettis did. You realize that?
Yes, I do.
And yet you have made no inquiries at all. Cabmen, neighbors, tradesmen.
I am not conducting my own defense.
Did you know that any such inquiry would be fruitless?
I know nothing of the kind.
You gave many of your wife's clothes to Miss Neve.
Right.
You pawned your wife's jewellery for £80 and here again for £155. Why?
I was putting a new medical preparation on the market. The money was to cover the advertising costs.
Supposing your wife had written for her furs and jewels?
I would have kept them. I paid for them.
Mrs. Martinetti was one of a number of...
Well, I don't know. Miles away, aren't you? Like her. How did you get yourself into this pickle? How?
Why shouldn't she leave all her things behind?
And all the time you were carrying
They
on?
weren't hers.
You what, dear?
Peter bought her everything.
Of course, you never heard half the chit-chat at the office, did you? Don't you think nobody never guessed? Such a dear thing you were when you first started, getting so cross with your typing, and our Lottie, the soul of patience. She's done it, you know, at last. Australia.
Lottie?
Pushing and shoving day in, day out. London's getting such a trial, you know the way she carried on. New start, she says. New home, new life.
I shouldn't have worn her things.
Lottie's thing?
No, hers, that's what...
Oh.
That's what set it all off with the police. Me wearing things of hers.
You were a fool, dear, you were. Still, I've always said marriage vows can't bind a person. They can't. Well, look at the way she went on. Some belle she was. You don't know your partner, not till it's too late.
Shouldn't have been so cheap.
So don't you go feeling too guilty.
That brooch, I was mad for it. And that fur coat.
There's nothing superior about a few furs. It's who's inside 'em. We know that.
You fled the country because you thought you would be in jail for months on end. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
On what charge?
Suspicion.
Suspicion? Of what?
Suspicion of... Inspector Dew said this woman has disappeared. She must be found.
Suspicion of what?
Of being concerned in Belle's disappearance.
What crime did you understand you might be kept in jail on suspicion of?
I do not understand the law well enough to say. I had been a reader of romances to a great extent. If I could not produce Belle, Mr. Dew told me that I would be in serious trouble.
You decided to advertise for her.
Yes.
Together with the inspector, you drew up an advertisement.
Yes.
But you didn't send it to the press, did you, Dr. Crippen? Why not?
I thought there was no use in my bothering.
No use? When it might have found your wife and put an end to the whole business?
I didn't think they'd trouble with me after I'd gotten out of England. I thought it wasn't important enough.
And so you fled the country?
Yes.
But how did you persuade her to run away with you?
The trouble I would be in if I couldn't find Mrs. Crippen. The scandal because Ethel was living with me.
And this is all you told her to persuade her to cut off her hair, disguise herself as a boy?
That is all.
Run off to the continent, board a steamer, cross the Atlantic?
That is all.
Got him. Got old fish eyes on the slab, cold.
Only 3 days out now. Look aloft. Up there. Do you see the wireless aerial? If you listen, you can hear the electric spark cracking. That's the Marconi operator, sending messages right across the sea.
Darling.
Shh, shh. You mustn't call me that. Remember who we
Papers
are.
are glorying in it.
Peter,
I don't think it's healthy.
That awful night.
For God's sake, Belle went the morning after. How many times do I have to tell you?
If he doesn't, it'll
Sorry.
be your turn next
Oh,
up there.
I'm sorry,
In
darling.
on it, up there
Forgive
with
me.
him.
How did you know what I was going to say?
I always know what you're going to say. You and I, we don't need an aerial.
And that Mr. Muir, he's so hard.
Anyone but him, Peter said. Anyone but Mr. Muir against him. We were going to get married, you know. We were, honestly.
That's as maybe.
They're going to kill him.
Now, look, dear, if ever you... When you're finished with all this, I'm sure our Lottie would have you, you know, if you wanted to go out there. I wasn't born yesterday, you know, dear. You can tell me all about it. Do you think I never guessed why you ran away with him? Really, why?
You have been a tenant at 39 Hilldrop Crescent for some 5 years, since September 1905.
Yes, I have.
Now, Dr. Crippen, an eminent surgeon has already told us that the human remains found in your cellar cannot have been buried there more than 8 months.
I dispute that.
You dispute expert forensic evidence. All right, so far as you know, the remains cannot have been put there while you were a tenant.
Not that I know of.
It would have been impossible.
I wouldn't say impossible. There were times when my wife and I were away.
Do you really ask the jury to understand that without your knowledge, or your wife's, those remains could have been put into your cellar?
It doesn't seem probable, but there is a possibility.
I want to look at 2 suits of pajamas. Exhibit 47, please. Are those your pajamas?
Yes.
When did you get them?
I bought them last autumn.
Autumn, 1909. I see. Where from?
Jones Brothers of Holloway.
Exhibit 48. Would you say that the material of that pair of pajama trousers is the same as the 2 suits?
It appears to be.
Yes. Is that pair of pajama trousers part of a 3rd set?
Yes, a set I bought previously.
Long time previously. Now think carefully. You're giving a very, very important answer.
I bought these 2 complete suits last September. These previous.
After you went to live at Hilldrop Crescent?
I think very shortly afterwards, yes.
Are you sure?
It was about that time I started to wear pajamas. My wife decided...
You bought the trousers in 1905?
I'm not sure it was 1905.
1906?
Shortly after moving into Hilldrop Crescent, Mr. Muir.
My lord, I'm questioning him on certain information that I have. Were not those trousers part of the same purchase of 3 sets of pajamas?
They were not, I'm sure of it.
Oh. What became of the jacket?
I can't tell you. Worn out?
Exhibit 79. Would you remove the exhibit from the dish and compare it with the pattern on that pair of trousers? Is it the same pattern?
It is similar. I wouldn't say it was the same.
Similar is one thing. You are asked to say whether it is the same.
It looks the same.
Dr. Crippen, I'm going to put this to you so that you have an opportunity to alter your answers. That all 3 sets of pajamas, one of them incomplete, were manufactured in 1908 and sold by Jones Brothers. And that the material of which all 3 is made was not in existence before that time.
It may be possible. To my mind, it doesn't seem.
Your pajama jacket must have got in beside those remains since 1908, at least 3 years after you moved into the house.
The information they now have was, I presume, in their possession.
Crippen had been destroyed. And now, as the case was closing, Mr. Muir was permitted to call his man from Jones Brothers, a buyer who confirmed that 3 sets of pajamas had been ordered by Mrs. Crippen and delivered to Hilldrop Crescent early in 1909.
By the cross-examination.
It was not
The odd pair of trousers exactly matched the fragment of jacket produced in court. It seemed that Belle had reached out from the grave.
Gentlemen, have you agreed upon your verdict?
We have.
Do you find the prisoner guilty or not guilty of willful murder?
We find the prisoner guilty of willful murder.
I am innocent. I still protest my innocence.
Silence in court!
Hawley Harvey Crippen, you have been convicted upon evidence that can leave no doubt in the mind of any reasonable man that you cruelly poisoned your wife and mutilated her body. You disposed piecemeal of her remains. You fled from justice and used every measure to conceal your flight. You must entertain no expectation or hope that you will escape the consequences of your crime. I implore you to make your peace with Almighty God.
3 weeks before he was due to die, Crippen had a new visitor. The name Mrs. Hawley suddenly appeared in the prison visitors' book, but Mrs. Hawley was in fact Ethel. The governor had agreed that she should be styled Mrs. Hawley on her visits to Pentonville.
told you the rules.
I'm sorry. An accessory after the fact. Found me innocent.
Of course.
Innocent.
Yes.
Then let me go. I'm sorry.
Sorry? Sorry because they let you go. They had to.
Are you?
I'm, getting plenty to eat.
You're so pale.
Steak and kidney pie today. Wasn't like yours. Suet pudding to follow. They have no idea.
I didn't even say anything in
Well,
court, not a word.
Of course not, darling. You might have gotten flustered. I'm getting enough exercise.
Twice a day. Without fail, miss. Miss Hawley. Courtyard outside. Brisk walk, deep breathing.
Are you all
Mrs.
right?
Thomas is, yes, I'm not. I'm lodging with her. Remember she used to work part-time in the bookkeeping?
Well, you must take care of yourself.
Because I'm not very strong. Forget I was a tomboy.
This time tomorrow, you and I, with my appeal, will be out of the country in a week. We'll settle in the States.
That little house across the sea. Peter. That awful night.
She left me, Ethel.
You can tell me now.
My dearest wife just stopped and disappeared.
She swore that she wouldn't be to ever.
This time we won't have to cut the tomboy's hair. Send for the boots and braces. Split the pants all the way down the back. Lock you in the office until I get back with a packet of safety pins. And you walk through the door.
With a cigarette in my mouth.
Nobody knew you. Nobody. That barber in Antwerp, I thought he was never going to stop sniffing. What's the matter, darling? It'll go again. Don't. And don't worry about money.
Forgive me, Peter. I had to. It was £100. If I would let them take a photograph of me in the clothes. In a hat, the waistcoat, the trousers.
How dare they hound you? Jackals. Licking their lips over every morsel.
I have to live.
Kitten, just wait. Just wait. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for a person to dissolve the bonds which connects him with another.
It becomes necessary for one people
I know.
to dissolve the political bands.
I know, Alfred, I know.
That's why the Yankees have our knees up every July the 4th.
That's right. Independence Day.
Get there one day. Do you hear that, Mr. Blundell?
Well, they're all lands of milk and honey. We still end up in the old country. For good.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Sorry about that. You and the lady, you're not allowed to touch or kiss her, but it's the rules.
I should have a razor.
Governor says no, Crippen.
The appeal, why? I can't go to court like this.
I'll cut we use clippers again, Mr. Blundell. You know, like we did on the last bloke.
A bit. I'll see what I can do.
Please.
Bane of our lives, Whiskers.
Whiskers. Whiskers. Whiskers, don't you dare let Whiskers on. She got cats. My wife, Belle. Locked in the house. The windows were kept closed in case they got out and fell foul of the opposite sex.
Yep. You got a thing about you women? Toms, she-cats.
Oh, the fine furs. And the gaudy feathers she stepped out in. Ethel knows what a sty she kept. We had a dozen rooms in the house, but we lived in the kitchen. All the old food and the trash. And our pins and our curlers and our junk strewn everywhere.
Well, they're not called a trouble and strife for nothing, you know.
Lino tacky under your feet. Cats scratching hairs on the dinner.
I could slaughter them, missus, sometimes.
Bed's all ready, Crippen.
Shut up the cold. Lay the breakfast seat of the sheets. And get an apron on over those pants. And don't forget the boarders' boots. Get them clean. Her boarders, Mr. Blundell, her male boarders. Members of the profession. Profession. Miss Elmore. Miss Elmore earned nothing. No bookings, no fees, nothing. They booed Miss Elmore off the stage. They laughed her off, Mr. Blundell.
Good night, Crippen.
I kept her. They could slaughter the missus sometimes. There's more to all of us, Alfred. Every one. Doesn't make us bad. 2 p.m. Dowdy male. Buried in her evening dress. Secret. Strange drug. Do you pant for the leash, Alfred? Does yours chew day and night? Huh? Cashews to sweeten her breath. Thick red crust on her lips. Her hair's next to my face. Gray at the roots where the color's gone. Now you look at her close. She's blotched like a sow's hide and her chest wet and sticky. You've just fallen on that. Her shaving your legs this morning, Belle. Go on. Scrape last night's dregs from your throat. Ethel. I love you.
What was that?
Hmm?
Peter, there's something out there on the stairs.
Don't worry. My dearest Belle is out with an admirer. She's never had enough until the early hours. And then the Lily Langtry of Camden Town reels in, sodden sour with drink.
Well, what do you know?
Belle.
Isn't it swell to come home?
I can explain everything, Belle. Belle, for God's sake.
My husband can explain. Gee, a goddamn floozy in his wife's bedroom with her skirts around
Belle,
the
Mrs. Belle.
Crippen. And my husband wriggling on his belly.
No, Belle.
Oh, stop it. Mrs. Crippen, stop. Yes, honey, Mrs. Crippen.
Leave her alone.
Moving with my
No.
police alarm.
Will you stop hitting him, please?
You're next, you hair-brained little typewriter.
Just stop it.
If
Stop
you
it,
want
Belle.
out of here
Belle,
in
keep
10
calm, will you?
seconds, I care for you,
Belle.
Belle.
Now get out of here. Ethel.
Sneaking your mousy little trollop in here. You cheating ass!
Crippen?
Sorry. Sorry. I'm dreadfully sorry.
Oh, Peter, no.
Verdict stands. No reasonable doubt.
Your solicitor sent a petition round the country. A reward for anyone who could find Belle. Or for her if she appears.
She hates me too much.
If I'd stayed that night, you'd never have...
Ethel.
Just letting you walk me home. Leaving you to go back there.
Belle will never come back.
Peter, what did you do after the vase? Was it... did I? Why don't you tell me?
A tough old bird like Belle. A large nip of brandy soon brought her round.
That stuff. You put all of that stuff in it. All at once.
A rotting plum. Beside my ripe little peach.
The cellar.
Where was the rest of her? Don't ask.
It's all my fault. We shouldn't have run away like that, but I was so frightened.
Darling, forgive me for everything.
Why don't you tell me it was an accident? It was that stuff. You just gave her too much of it.
Tell them what we've been doing, how we've been dosing her so that we could be... your family, your poor parents, the scandal would...
Scandal? I've already branded Dr. Crippen's innocent little whore.
Oh, no.
Time's up, Mrs. Hawley.
The mornings are so cold.
Mrs. Hawley.
And getting darker every day.
You'll always be with me, Peter. Don't you see? You'll always be with me.
My dear little kitten. The grass was blinding green today, Ethel. The sky, cold as sapphire, and clear all the way to God. I was alone in the courtyard, but so many shadows at my shoulder, taking their last walk. Shadows are such dear friends.
I like him, Mr. Blundell.
Yes.
He's quiet.
First night he hasn't been turning and tossing.
not right, Mr. Blundell. All this. If it is so right, how come I feel like this now?
You always do. When it gets close.
It's never right. I don't care what you say.
Crippen?
From Mrs. Hawley. Telegram.
I'm sorry. I can't read without my glasses.
My own true darling, I will treasure your memory forever, with you on your journey, until we join you in eternity.
We. Till eternity. Sir.
Yes?
The letters in my photograph. May I keep them beside me? Buried with me.
Yes. Of course you may.
Be foggy in the morning. 9 o'clock. No breakfast. Dear God. Dear God, help me to be brave.
Hawley Harvey Crippen was hanged at Pentonville on November the 23rd, 1910. He never confessed to killing Belle. And Ethel and Neve, acquitted in a separate trial on a charge of complicity, always maintained she knew nothing of the murder. We will never know exactly how Belle Elmore met her end. Ethel went abroad. Certain well-informed sources feel sure she returned to England after giving birth to Crippen's child, someone who might be watching this program at this very moment. I wonder.